Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Brother speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... So yeah, this one's from the YouTube recommended, I suppose. I had it tabbed for a couple of days, you know, kind of like cycling through things and, you know, dealing with other stuff behind the scenes and blah, 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 blah. No one cares. So yeah, and I don't know much about it as a result, but I do know that it's by a channel called DXD Productions, which I'm guessing is because it's, you know, the series is called Death X Demons. And it seems to have been created for the express purpose of handling this show. I say seems to because the channel was created several months ago. Maybe someone had an existing account somewhere and then they decided to, incorporate it in this way. So it does seem like I may have been one of the people who was, served one of the, first. Oh wait, no, it wouldn't have been some of the first impressions because the video's a couple of weeks old. So I'm a bit late to this. By the time that I got to it, it seemed like we have the usual wave of overwhelming praise, but the overwhelming praise this time goes even further than usual. Some people, saying like very generic things like, Japanese characters, I guess that works for this series, which I didn't really think was, majorly different because, Japanese characters in a gacha series, wow, who would have guessed? But then I realized that there's a song that's actually listed in here, like how YouTube detects like copyrighted songs. There's one here that's from K-pop Demon Hunters. So I'm guessing that that's a source of inspiration. So I'm guessing we're going from Korean to Japanese, and that's why people commented on it. Other people were saying, actually much grander things in the sense of like, they want to see more. They want to see like the show, they're so like, blown away by it. And one person even said that this would be something that they want to see on Netflix. Again, that may be because K-pop Demon Hunters is also a Netflix product, but the last time that I remember a show receiving that praise specifically was the Music Freaks. So that is, and even the creator said that was, not viable or not something that would, go down well, generally speaking. So the fact that, people are still doing that for this thing that just came out makes me very curious, because when something gets overwhelming praise in Gacha and ends up on Gacha Review, it either ends up being a travesty to mankind or something that is genuinely underrated. This time I say genuinely, appropriately rated, because that's about the highest rating that, the average commenter gives to any given Gacha series. So we'll see. Yeah, this better be good if you're comparing it to TMF. Well, the commenters have done that for me. I have seen maybe 2 frames of this. I'm not comparing it to TMF just yet. We'll see if it's comparable or not. I assume that at least on one level it'll be comparable, and that is that music is involved, if I'm right about the inspiration for it. So let's go ahead and see. If the channel is named after the series you made, it's big. I mean, it might be in the future. Currently it is not, but we'll see. So yeah, let's see. I guess we'll cycle through and we'll see what's going on. The thing that is different about it is the aspect ratio. We're dealing with a light motion here this time, and also seems a 4:3. That's the thing I would have commented on personally if I were the average commenter, is the fact that the aspect ratio seems to be different. Is that a stylistic choice, or is that just how a light motion comes when it comes to recording? Well, I guess we'll find out. So, oh, okay, and just as that happens, my battery starts running low. So I guess we'll press play, and I'll charge. And without further ado, on with the review. In a place Japan, nation land, which was protected from human forces. Well, I think I've already discovered my first complaint with this. Hold on. All right. All right. Okay. With 3 seconds. Yes. like it's the first time that I've paused a video 3 seconds in, and you've already found it first. Oh, fine. So your first complaint is no noses. Fair enough. My first complaint is it's too fast. It's too fast, as I believe Kid Icarus said one time. Yeah. So that's the first thing. Because like you can tell that this is somebody who's like tries to do like establishing shot of like this particular drawn map of, I presume, Japan. It was kind of hard to focus on, along with the captions. They have but like I said, my favorite things about one thing that drew me into Midori Stories at first. That's one comparison I can make. One thing that drew me into Midori Stories at first was like was the incorporation of the establishing shots before we started the actual series of Not Your Average Girl. You know, some of them included gacha characters in them, some of them didn't, and they had like extras. And it didn't end up having to do anything with the show, but it was one thing that, like, enticed me immediately. This show had the chance to do that, but unfortunately squandered it because it was too fast for most people to focus on in that situation. So, everything is there. It just needed to be there for approximately, 2 extra seconds on average, let's say. And it's up to the desired ones. Okay, now it's slowing down. Stay, them all. The desired ones? As opposed to the chosen ones, I assume. The desired ones. I desire for you to embark on a mission. I decline. Curses! My one weakness. Changes of wording that allow for loopholes. A new beginning.
We're late!
Okay, so the editing is too fast and the running cycle is too slow. The footsteps, fantastic speed there, definitely suggests that somebody is out of breath. But what doesn't suggest it are the very few frames that you used and the speed of which they were there that actually leads you to believe the character's not actually running. They seem to be like, awkwardly stumbling a little bit. If you'd added, like a few more like things like in the cycle, which there actually is a little bit of like a change of pose to make imply a running cycle. If you had like a couple more frames of those and then sped it up to the same speed as the establishing shots, we would have been golden here. Aha, golden, more K-pop Demon Hunters reference.
What happened, sis?
Look at the alarm! It's 9:06 a.m.!
Yeah, look at the alarm that I'm not pointing to. Like, you can. I'm pretty sure I'm notoriously the guest of me, but I'm pointing out which version of Gacha we're in than I am. But this looks like Gacha Life 2 to me. You can move a character's arm down to point at an alarm if the alarm is on a table that seems to be, but by your bedside. That being said, I like the coordination of the beds. I wonder if this is actually this very well could be a custom background with custom assets, because the beds like match the color schemes of the two, I presume, sisters, or at least roommates, and and it's filled in with like other details in the background that very well could be actual, their framed photos and such, which suggests to me this is someone who's like trying to take advantage of every technical aspect they possibly can, granting them the Netflix praise of one of the commenters. So, yeah, it's unfortunate that out of all of those things, one of the things that wasn't there was pointing at a clock.
What? Shoot, we are so...
Oh, yeah, and lack of indoor headwind, also true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The screen recording line is solved at the bottom. Oh, yeah. But that does say to me that these two are, recorded separately, which is obviously the method that I am trying to phase out of for the most part, just because it's more time consuming, but I understand the principle behind it.
Oh, Dad, on our first day.
Okay. So at first the VA for Lavender Head Girl seems to that was appropriately confused and mellow. But after knowing that she was, supposed to be late and trying to like, match that same intensity, the two levels aren't quite there. It seems like it seems like Blue Haired Girl is way better at emoting and conveying panic, and Lavender Haired Girl is not. It's like needs to amp up the energy and volume a little bit to match that, because otherwise it just seems like it's not that much of a big deal, but yet the expressions seem identical. Oh, good, Heterochrome. Now we need eye patch and someone saying, as you know, we've ticked all the trigger boxes. At least the ones that feature frequently on Gacha Review. I'm more concerned about the fact that the seeming bags under the character's eyes with heterochromia are piercing into said eyes, because it's been angled in such a way that the actual the actual bags going like folding inwards and poking you. Ugh. this might also be a case of a character being, a parent character being reverse engineered from the children characters, which is something that, I do myself, but I try to make it a bit more discreet than, okay, you've just inherited like two separate sides, unless this mother like underwent mitosis in order to create them, in which case, just like from both sides. That's not how mitosis works. But never mind. Also, yeah, their tears don't even stream to the bottom of their face. Tears stream partially down your face. Anyway, if I haven't done this in a while, but I'm already morphing. Oh, okay.
What's wrong, girls?
Mom! Why didn't you wake me up?
Girl, don't forget about me.
It's not time yet.
What do you mean?
I think you said.
And you've closed the character's eyes and the bags are still there and they're still stabbing into expression. Okay.
The alarm wrong. It's 6:06 a.m.
Okay, no one says 6:06 a.m. like that. I feel like that was definitely a case of I'm reading the line for the first time, and now I will do it again. Please don't use the first time.
All right, girls. Enough.
Okay, also, I think you cut off that laugh a little bit too early. Like the all right, girls. That to me seems like the laugh went on for a bit longer, and then like there was the lines between were like cut and spliced together. Just leave like an extra little bit of space after that, you'll be fine. Here we go. Yeah, this is this is a screen of Netflix, eh? No, not well, I mean, given some of the stuff that Netflix approves of potentially, but where the wind. Anyway.
Joking around. Let's get quick and ready.
All right, Mom. Kamizu. Bye, Mom.
Oh, by the way, you're early. Anyways, let's be quick and get ready.
Bye, girl.
It's uncanny how in sync these two girls are. Now, that is true. That is true because, but it might be also because, like, I think one of them is actually voiced by the director of this, because the director also commented saying, "Hey, director Mira in this." So this is a rare example of a gacha video that was not directed by the person that produced it or uploaded it, unless director Mira actually owns this channel as well, and that it is just a separate thing. In which case, that also makes sense. Who's driving the bus? That's a very good question. It's a self-driving bus that looks like it was made in 1964, as we have all seen around. Obviously, I'm curious whether or not that's their residence and they're supposed to be mega rich, or if it's or if this is just where the bus stop happens to be. The bus just appeared. Yeah, the bus just appeared. It stopped for a few seconds, then immediately just sped off away. Without. I don't think I even turn off the engine. Well, you don't have the engine. You have to just brake. But yeah, that was a foot brake situation.
Whoa, this bus is colorful.
You see colors everywhere. I
mean, there just are colors everywhere, right?
see black and white.
I see colors everywhere.
Do you mean that metaphorically, or do you have a condition? It could be either one. I'm curious to find out. Yeah. Mira, is there a reason why I find you sick in the plex? Sorry, that one eludes me.
Everywhere, as I feel that magic is around us. We just don't know it yet.
Are you okay? I think.
Can we rewind a bit? I want to see that magic appearing bus again. Okay. A reminder that rewinding is not always super precise on Gacha Review, but then again, it's not like, what Aiden was trying to get me to do and pause at a certain frame. So yeah, we'll see. Here we go. Bus time.
Let's get quick and ready.
All right, Mom. Kamizu. Bye, Mom.
Bye, girls.
Okay, so it seems like the bus was already there. So now I'm thinking that the bus was just waiting there. The drive, or I guess the AI system that's driving the bus, detected their presence, started the engine again, revved it up to the max. The second they stepped on, zoomed away. That's the efficient. That's quite the efficient system. But also, imagine if someone just gets on the bus and one point like, "Oh wait, no, I dropped my pen." Yeah, you don't want to have it, with that level of margin of error, do you? Mm.
Whoa, this bus is colorful.
You see colors everywhere.
Also, Ghost, this is a message for you. Stop forcing us to watch more than we need to. I also was waiting in the void for the background to. Yeah.
I just see black and white.
I see colors everywhere, as I feel that magic is around us. We just don't know it yet.
Are you okay? I think all these weird thoughts are making you crazy, and magic is not.
Okay, now you add the intensity, or like more of it than you would need to for this.
Real is not real.
Why do I feel as if someone is watching us?
Sis.
I mean, they probably are because you are, loudly yelling on the bus to each other. I assume there are people off screen that are in this.
Someone is watching us.
Oh, what? Who?
I have a feeling someone is watching us. Sis, someone is watching us. It's like a narration bit, isn't it? It's like, I believe we were being observed. Mostly because my sister then proceeded to say, "Sister, we are being observed."
Izumi, talk in recess.
I'm gonna decorate my locker with kind of
Okay, I guess this is recess now, and they didn't say a word beforehand.
stickers.
You silly.
Okay, that was appropriately paced footsteps. That almost seemed like it was meant to be, it was actually synced up. Might have been a coincidence, but still. I'm curious about this uniform, actually, now that I'm seeing it, properly with, the fact that we have stars on their, on their socks / leggings. Is like, okay, interesting. They look like pajama bottoms to me personally, but that's my only design concern. I'm wondering about like these gems that they all seem to have and what they signify, especially if magic is supposedly not a common thing. Is this like a thing for them for their friendship, or does everyone have them? That's a question for right now. We'll see.
Hey girls, I see that
A little bit of nice environmental
you're
storytelling.
one of the freshers here.
Yeah, we are. We're looking forward to exploring this place. Isn't that right, sis?
We're looking forward to exploring this place. I probably should do a second take of these lines after I read them.
Yeah,
That guy's persistent.
Izumi, are you alright?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm alright.
Also, what we were saying before, I doubt that anyone's watching you. I've seen this. I've seen this bus. No one, and I mean no one, is there. Yeah, not even the driver, except for again that other guy.
But may I know about that guy over there?
Oh, interesting question, eh? That's Levi. Levi cousin
Interesting question.
Maki. He's known to rule.
Wait, hold on. Wait a second. You can see Levi's name behind behind the blonde girl. So what? Why is she looking to the side of her? I mean, I guess it's difficult to do like backface or whatever, but also, if that's the case, position the characters so that they are going to be like, in view of each other. It does look like there is only one screen record line this time, so this might all bit because this is an existing gacha background, so it's all probably done on the same layer. If so, I know it's a 4x3, but I would have suggested shrinking the characters down and putting them further in the background a little bit, and then allowing more room for Levi to be there. That might require a zoom in ultimately, but I think because of the fact their feet are cropped out and the background is already stretched to the max, I'm guessing that the method behind close-ups is going to mostly be having the characters actually physically like being resized and going towards us.
The school that he's known as.
I'm offended. When a script says it means A. Yeah, and this is something that I'm not sure. Again, it seems like Mira talks about being the director of this. I'm not sure if anyone is credited as the writer specifically, because we have. We have several. As we have several directors actually. We have actual Izumi. Then we have Isumi, and then Izumi. And I thought Miyuki and Mizuki were confusing twin names. then we have Ira slash Glitch, and then we have Rumi slash Vin. All of these characters basically, and Aliyah slash Alia, it seems. It's who's named after the director. So we have 5 directors basically for those characters I listed. But no one is listed as a writer. Maybe they all wrote it together, but the fact that it took 5 people to direct this, and most of them, there seem to be the main characters that aren't giving the best performances some of the time, is a little bit concerning that none of them picked up on this. No one will take ownership. They all knew. Wow.
Prince Levi, quite a weird person, very moody and extremely dangerous and mad.
Allow me to explain this while I casually pretend that I'm leaning on something, even though I'm in the air. Magic is real. Invisible walls exist.
Of course, I feel bad for him though.
Oh, why is
I feel bad for him though.
that?
He is, well, girls run after good-looking guys, and he gets chased.
Oh my, I feel quite bad for him.
Okay,
Wait, so the good-looking guys all chase him? Okay.
enough chit chat. Miss Lily, could you show us the?
A similar thing happened to my brother in like infant school. Yeah, when most people talk about, oh yes, like a bunch of people chased me, they mostly mean like in a romantic sense. No, when my brother says that girls chased him when he was younger, he means physically chased him, and he despised that. So maybe that's what's happening. Maybe Levi's being physically chased by a bunch of good-looking guys. I don't know.
Way to class 1A.
Sure, but what a coincidence. You and Levi are in the same class.
Levi's. Oh, I guess if I know everything about Levi, including his entire schedule.
I see.
I mentioned why the gems match their hair if there's a law reason. The fact they all have the same type of gems, despite the fact that 2 of them seem to be, well, sorry, one of them seems to have not met them before. That either means that obviously they are the desired ones, and it was destiny and whatever, or it just happens to be in fashion right now. I don't know. That is something that happened in Mermaid Melody, actually, or Pitchy Pitchy Pitch is the actual name of the series. Yeah, that which again I've mentioned before is one of my favorites series of all time, and one of the first anime I ever saw. And it also revolves around a set of protagonists that actually didn't know each other at first, but probably could have given away because based on the pearls inside the seashells that wear around their necks that are very obvious in nearly every single frame, even though they're meant to be in disguise. That's one of the only glaring holes. And they discussed that in the first episode, because there's a whole thing about how they're mermaids, right? So they have a mermaid form and a human form, and the main love interest recognizes the shell from the mermaid on the human, and then it's is that a thing? And then they cover the fact that there's obviously a lack of connection there because of seeing ability and whatever. It makes sense in the episode, but no one else across the entire 95 episodes ever questions that. So I don't know. In this case, maybe I'm guessing that these gems were passed down to them potentially, and they don't exactly know why, but they just all collectively agreed to actually wear them. And Levi has made the connection before they knew because no one bothered to fill them in. I don't know. Heterochromia mum was busy being stabbed repeatedly every day of her life through the bags under her eyes to really discuss ancient history,
We gotta run!
Yep. Come on, Lily.
Follow me, I'm your guide now.
I'm sure they are the twins. They are the chosen ones.
Just look at the.
Oh, so you're just gonna straight up say the chosen ones now? Well, why'd you call them the desired ones earlier? If you're gonna invent a new thing, call them that, or the Digi-Destined or something. I don't know.
They're amulets. They match with Her Highness, Queen Celestia.
I'm more interested in the blue-haired one.
Okay. I see what you're trying to do here, person who filmed this particular scene. I get that you're trying to do a pan across, But here's the thing. This comes back to, again, pre-rendering your images, because while during panning shots in animation, yeah, no, Bond's caught onto this. The background is also supposed to move. So physically moving the characters across a static camera, technically you can do that, but you would have to also move the background in tandem with them. And trust me, that is the first thing that I attempted to do in the Mutant Girl episode 1. That was the first like major like visual trick that I tried when trying to do movement. It did not go well. Partly because I had no idea how keyframes worked, but it's also very time consuming to try to align those. So again, my suggestion is, as always, pre-render the scene, use that render version that you have, and then edit that with all the different camera angles and things that you want to try out. It's, it achieves far better results. I see that they're trying to do the thing where, they're like several other desks around rather than being an empty classroom. But unfortunately, the desks imply they're supposed to be like far greater numbers in this class than otherwise would be expected. Because I will say there can be very small classes for certain subjects, but in this one you kind of dictated that they're expecting a high turnout. Obvious green screen shadows, obvious. Yeah, another thing that was one of the first issues that I had in Mutant Girl was the fact that if you don't turn off the shadows, they occasionally appear in green screen. That's why usually I tend to, ignore them. Unless it's appropriate for a scene. I did, in fact, very subtly add a properly formed shadow to the last scene in the most recent Mutant Girl episode. For when if you go back, you can actually see for like that the big like landscape shot of the shadow of the new like the new character walking across the train station. You actually see the shadow reflected where the shadows were in the image, and that's why I did it, because otherwise I wouldn't have bothered. Also, lacking music is real awkward. That is true, because this video, again, it has a piece of audio that was detected from K-pop Demon Hunters, but so far we've only had like that piece of music from the beginning. Maybe that was it, but I don't know. Does my software provide parent layering features? It might, but I haven't looked into it, because when it comes to the way that I tend to produce gacha, the parents layers don't really matter ultimately. It's not how it's not how I end up compiling stuff together, because most of the time it's like the poses are worked out in gacha life to itself. But yeah, for other people, we'll see.
Yo, sis, what are you looking at?
Psst. Hey.
Wow, we just shut up out of nowhere. Forget walking cycles now. That's one of my favorite things that they actually remember to include in this, even if it didn't work so well the first time. It worked the second time. If it does, and you find it, that might save you a lot of frame-by-frame nonsense, especially with those animated mouths. Potentially, although didn't you tell me that actually if I go down that route, it would end up being more time-consuming than just doing stop motion? I'm willing to give it a go, but last time I said I was going to give it a go, and I declared that, you then said don't bother. So I just want to be, absolutely clear here before I decide to go to look for it.
Huh?
Do you believe in magic?
I believe in, you never doing that face again, please.
What? How did you...
No time to explain.
What? I mean, it's a simple question, I guess. I mean, it's a bit of a weird icebreaker, but still, especially with the face. But I like how even when I don't have guests, everyone that the chat seems to agree with a lot of the stuff I say. I'm not the only one, because sometimes with the commenters, I think, am I the crazy one? No, I'm not.
Meet me at the library near Shikoku Town after school at 5 p.m.
But...
No, I decline. Why would I do such a thing?
I don't understand.
You don't have to. Just show up tonight and I will clear up everything. Maybe
I will clear up everything. And by everything, I mean the one sentence I've actually said to you so far.
we can put a stop to this mess.
Mess? What?
Does he think that she knows more than she does? Maybe that's the issue here. I'll reserve judgment in that case.
Yep.
Also, once again, shortest class ever. They just sat down.
Hey, we had the same class. Chemistry is so fun.
Chemistry makes me think of all the interesting formula you can test. So interesting, right?
Yeah, I bet we'll see none of them.
Isu?
Oh, panning shot again.
Girly Poppy there? Or it's two is
Wow, I haven't heard anyone say girly pop in a long time.
Sumi, hello?
What's happening where Bon is hiding in the corner? Pretty much everything in this. Honestly, it is like so far it's mostly been like the technical side of things. You know, like most of what's been going on so far, like the major issues are all revolving around the editing and visuals and somewhat the performances. The story hasn't really properly like gotten going yet, so we'll see.
Oh, yeah! Chemistry is fun.
Everything all right?
Yeah. I'm good.
Maybe she needs some time to process.
I guess so.
Process
Look,
what?
it's the new girls. More like
Ah, yes, classic bully opening line.
extra baggage.
You know what? I'll say this: the bullies. So given like how cliche their lines are, those at least they were delivered in a very convincing way. Those two VAs so far are doing a pretty good job, even though they had one line each.
Oh God.
I got distracted. I think Parent Layering could help you with both camera angles and animated mouths. It was the tweeting I was discouraging. That's the time-consuming part. I mean, isn't Parent Layering intrinsically tied to tweening though? Wouldn't that if I started using that, wouldn't that like just convert the process? I would have thought.
Not them.
Us?
Well, Roxy, should we show them where they belong?
See, this character's allowed to pause a little bit and just add a bit of dramatic effect into the lines and really sink it in, rather than just being like spliced, and before like with the laugh.
Yes, we should cut.
I have a bad.
I would join, but I finished editing for the day and I'm feeling cringe hearing my voice 24/7. Why did no one warn me? We didn't know what you would do, so I don't know. Why are their shoulders showing? It's hot. There's no AC.
Feeling about this.
What I'm wondering is that the bullies specifically seem to have some form of like cardigan tied around them rather than the skirt. I know that's an option in the uniform, but also that suggests that it's actually not that hot, and that if they have a cardigan they can put on top of the already sweater resembling like the outfit they have going on right now. How cold is this place actually? Here's a keyframe gacha. If your series is primarily stop motion, which it isn't. I would mention Parent Layering. It's really up. Oh, you would describe my series as stop motion. So I've just been going with that description. Okay, well I might look into it again. We'll see what happens. Oh well, okay. So about not believing in magic, they could just wait. Okay, that's my first story thing. So if we're saying that people think that magic isn't real or something, you're telling me that people could just casually do this kind of thing to the point where they could where it's like used for bullying and it's not like a huge kept secret and no one has noticed them or seems to care, but yet they don't know that they exist. I got a complaint, by the way, like a few years back that considering considering what like the implication would be of like someone with a mutation to the level of Morwenna would entail, that she would have paparazzi and cameras and stuff like following her 24/7, constantly making like news about her. And I did say that it wasn't a new mutation, so that was already somewhat covered, but she's also not the only mutant and not the first one, so people are already aware of the concept of them. That's the thing. So no one in the Mutant Girl so far has, been in denial about mutants existing. It's very much a thing that everyone knows. Maybe there's the odd conspiracy theorist out there, but I haven't, written them yet. But in this case, we've had somebody who clearly denounced the concept of magic in general and has now just been blasted with the truth straight to the face, it seems. With the also side instead of making the move sentence with a shot, that makes sense. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. I get that. All right. Oh, the lines at the bottom of the screen are the screen record lines, because if they are on different layers and they're moving, a light motion will have like a different like mark underneath them, basically, and there are several of them that are line up. It's kind of like the Kai Master logo, that being over the top of the Kai Master logo, for those that use the watermark version of that and like require multiple renders. It's the same issue, basically, but just applied differently. And the same, and here's the issue of the shadows again. She doesn't seem shocked by the fact she's now as a staff. So has she known about magic this whole time and was pretending not to for the sake of her sister? Or is this just a case of the animation dictates I must look like this, and then it will react accordingly after my instincts have not kicked in? Yes, I also have questions. So many questions.
Hey, which way are you going? Ugh, brats.
Wow, no one seems to like them for no adequately explained reason. The bullies I get, but my goodness, everyone here.
Hey, who is...
Yeah, well, okay, where the staff come from, I thought it was going to be a case that, like, her magic, like, either just awoke or, she's able to, like, conjure that staff into existence and, like, desummon it at will. I'm guessing it's the second one because she just isn't acknowledging the fact that that happened, or even is remotely surprised she could do magic. Like, you would think if it's the first time, even if she managed to, defeat them or something by instinct, after that adrenaline has rushed away, she would then react being like, what the heck is this, or something. Again, go back to Mermaid Melody, a lot of that show, because it was made in the early 2000s, has recycled animation. And that applies to the transformation sequences that are there. But in the first episode, after the main character, Lucia, transforms for the first time, you get the recycled animation, but then you actually get her reacting to being transformed for the first time. Like, yeah, it's a very positive reaction because she's already aware of, like, magic and stuff because she, is a mermaid. But it's still something. You would have something there. So that leads me to believe the second option, that she actually knew about magic the whole time, but could express the belief about it, but was lying to her sister, and I guess joining in the worldwide gaslighting that she must have been subjected to in order to not know about it. Really confused now.
She, and who are those?
I would have murdered them if murdering wasn't against the law.
Should be on Netflix. Yeah.
Those are the so-called popular brats.
Wait, hold on. Did they go to the nurse's office already and bandage her up, or have they conjured bandages? And if so, is Izumi... Wait, actually, as far as reactions go, shouldn't Lavender Head Girl, who I believe is Izumi, like, shouldn't she be like thinking like, oh wait, magic was real this whole time, rather than, oh, I'm glad we got away from them. Priorities, come on.
And Xinyan, Levi's younger sister. She's scary and fierce, just like her brother.
What time was mentioned? 6?
Wow, this character's really obsessed with Levi. Like, everything, like, nearly everything she says about to do with Levi, even if he's not in the scene.
4? No, 5 p.m. Just 2 p.m. Phew.
Oh my goodness, magic is real! Is it 4 or 5 p.m.? Nah, it's 2 p.m. We're okay. Magic is real! Come on!
Izu, I got some more canal stickers from Lily. Seems like
Okay, so they can put the cardigans on top of their sweater resembling... Okay, alright. Okay, so lines are from iPhones. They are not home screen buttons anymore, but they have rather little on screen. So they shows on screen. Okay, if a sprite's over the line. Got it. There we go. Also, no, Levi is just the name of a character in this. So, yeah.
She loves Demon Slayer too.
We're almost
Sounds
done.
Nice.
What did Levi even tell you? You've been acting so...
Oh, that's why she was worried about the time. Because... Okay. All right. You know what? I was going to say something, but I'll save it for the end. Because we are, like, a few seconds away from it.
weird after that happened.
Today, at 5 p.m., we'll make our way to the library near Shikoku Town. No more questions until then.
Okay, I guess.
Well, she's become like Levi immediately. Okay, so now that scene's wrapped up. So about the times, yeah, she was thinking about like clearly about thinking about like the reunion with Levi. You know, clearly because Levi said before that he could explain everything. You know, that she's going to follow up on that lead. Which, okay, fair enough. That technically works. What I would have done personally for this is had the scene with where Levi asked to meet up with her at the library, had the scene where where the bullies and the magic and the staff and all that stuff happened, and just switch places. So we first get the awakening of the magic with a bit more of a reaction if it is supposed to be a surprise. I'm still on the fence about that one. And then Levi happens to witness this, then goes out of his way to talk to Isumi, and then says, I will explain everything in the library, because now Isumi has a reason to think, okay, there is something that requires explaining. It technically works the other way around, but she would less likely to take him up on his offer, basically. It goes back to like the Madoka Magica problem where the character is supposed to be, the good guy is just terrible at what they do and about not appearing intimidating, and really should have thought that through, considering that they were up against a master manipulator. In this case, there is no master manipulator for the time being. It's just, but still, the same issue applies here. Yeah, one person says to be on Netflix. How long ago was this made? 2 weeks ago. And if I go back to the comments and I find what the person said, let's see. So we have the high director Mira here. Apparently someone's account got banned. Okay, so yeah. Wait. Yeah, so Livy Namira says, whoa, I love it. It should be on Netflix. So there you go. There's the person that yeah. Madoka Magica mentioned. I mean, it's a good comparison, I think, in this case. Much more so than the music freaks. So yeah, I kind of jumped the gun a bit about that. Maybe like the K-pop Demon Hunters recognized track was actually just the beginning portion. Maybe you should made a mistake. It does do that sometimes. So yeah. So I guess that was not there. But hey, Death X Demons, I suppose if there are, demons in this somewhere. For a first episode in a series called Death X Demons, I would have personally wanted to see something to do with demons, if nothing else. I mean, apart from like the very, very quick, establishing editing, which I've already said was way too fast for people to focus on. There isn't much of an idea behind that. There's the gems. I can definitely say, okay, fine. They'd be like somewhat of a mystery. We'll find out. I need to know like what the perception of magic is in this world. If the general population knows that it's real, or if it's just Izumi was gaslit her entire life. That's a very important thing to really probably establish for this, I would say. Yes, this is the only episode so far. Because something of this scale, yeah, definitely will take a couple of weeks at least before a second episode comes out. I'm sure it's in the works right now. So yeah, I'll definitely be keeping tabs on the channel at least in order to figure this stuff out. So it's once again an issue of this show raises questions a lot, but not in a sense of like encouraging intrigue, and more so encouraging confusion and exasperation to some degree. And that's just the story parts, because there was not much of a story that really they got to focus on here. It feels like it was things were saying in motion, then just kind of like cuts basically, rather than an appropriate like cliffhanger moment. Because you have established the main characters in this, that is true, but but the main conflict isn't really discussed in this, and that's something you also want to really set in stone for the first episode. You know, I would say just like those, like the core concepts of the show as best you can, as well as the main characters. Characters first, then concept, but both of them should be there. So yeah, we are gonna have to wait for a bit then. You know, hopefully we'll see what happens with this. Again, you know, 5 directors is very ambitious for this. I feel like I feel like there needs to be at least potentially like a head director if they're going to all like, you know, take turns. So, or maybe somebody focuses on the voice actor, someone focuses on the editing parts of it, or like they delegate certain tasks of some kind if they're not doing that already. Because the more people are, you know, are doing things, yeah, you see here, the more people you know, are going to be butting heads or something. It's like that group chat that Johnny just created recently where, you know, there were like several different writers, I think like 7 of us or something, that were all put into that group chat. All on the implication we could actually, you know, help out with this horror movie. And a lot of people declined. But yeah. Usually I would say that, you know, my we just talked about this in the culture group chat as well, as far as like, you know, players for a campaign. It's still the same issue where, you know, with too many people around, even if you know that you're the greatest of friends, there will always be some kind of butting of heads that will end up resulting in like major compromises. And yes, Great Art is born from compromise, but at the same time, how much of that compromise is there and how much of your original vision is around. Not to mention as well, I've been in groups of you know, 2 or 3 writers, and the dynamic between people, there's usually one person who feels like they don't have enough to offer, or like, you know, their ideas aren't going to be as good because the other 2 are more in sync. So there may be issues behind the scene according to that as well. So I hope they've got the system going. You know, if not, consider maybe actually if all 5 of them want to direct for this series, what they could do is the same thing that a lot of TV shows, and yes, Netflix shows also do, which is have specific writers for specific episodes, or directors for specific episodes. You know, sometimes you'll get in a series of, say, this episode was directed by so-and-so and written by so-and-so, and every time I did storyboarded by blah, 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 you know. And then those names repeat themselves sometimes, but they also, like, you know, like switch around, basically. It's, you know, quite a good workflow, I would say, for things like that, as long as somebody is like supervising the whole process and, you know, it doesn't get out of hand, so people don't take things in like vastly different directions. That's why you get things like show Bibles, for example, where someone's like outlined things that, you know, that are, I guess, you know, like the hardcore rules that someone must stick to, and then also, like, you know, the plan for what the series is going to be, like what the goal is, if someone wants to format things like that. I've never actually seen that done in a gacha series before, so maybe this is the series to do it, if that's the case. Or maybe they have 1 writer and 5 directors. I don't actually know. It doesn't say any writing credits, so I don't know. I don't know. Because we had the same D&D problem as recent video. The one I sent a video to, and they did the same. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's something that Crispy has talked about with D&D several times, and I agree with. Yeah, because tomorrow, by the way, on the Butter Bunch, we're planning to do another one-shot, for which I believe 6 people have signed up for, or maybe 5 actually. 5 to 6 people, which is way more than Aiden's used to DMing for, but also just in general, especially like given like the time frame we try to do these videos in, or like try to do the live plays in, it might end up spiraling to some degree, much like my camera appears to be doing now. Sorry about this. Let's there you go, just turn that off. There we go. Okay. I'm almost done anyway. Crispy is the creator behind Crispy's Tavern, which is a channel that talks about which are, you know, a few internet events, but mostly D&D horror stories or D&D related stuff. So yeah, but yeah, it's a common complaint. It's not just Crispy who said that. I've said it before. Other people have. You know, it's like the biggest complaint with Critical Role, particularly because they keep adding people and not removing them. It's actually the same idea behind like why Fallen Angels had an issue with its characters because, you know, with so many of them, with Aiden's philosophy being, okay, this character either going to be are going to either going to have to die, or they're going to have to, you know, like announce that they're leaving. Otherwise, they must be featured in every single episode of have some sort of relevance. It became too much to balance, basically. So it happens with characters, with players, with, you know, writers. Yeah, there's a lot there. There are some like major pop songs that have up to 9 writers attached to them, and you would think for a 3-minute product, how do you even do that? Did one person just 2 lines? I don't know. That's like a stream example. Usually it's less than 9, but I have seen up to 9. So yeah, it's so that's something to beware, basically. And if you are going to keep 5 directors for this going forward, make sure that, you know, they have their moments to shine, or like maybe you know, something else attached to that. Like I said before, you know, give them a few episodes at a time, and make sure again while I focus on the voice actors, because a lot of them, even the ones who like are voiced by the directors, I feel like need a bit more direction in what they're doing. So yeah, hope that hope that helps. Keep up with having the same problem. So yeah, again, you know, music, songs, all that stuff. So yeah, we'll see where we go from where this goes from here. You know, hopefully it continues to pick itself up, and you know, it becomes you know, it lives up to the hype that the commenters seem to have left within it. You know, if they're already this excited, imagine how they would be if you know, if this continued. So, you know, let's go ahead and hope for that to happen. I already forgot everything that happened in it. There wasn't much story-wise that happened. That's the thing. A lot of what we talked about today was technical, rather than story-related, which is unusual for Gacha review. But then again, there wasn't much to really like grasp onto here. So again, another thing to think about for the next episode for those who are involved in it, of which there are plenty of people. So yeah, good luck, DSD Productions, and to everyone else, please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters. And subscribe if you've done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.